Yeah, I want to show you one of the easiest ways to make a cement planter. And I also want to show you the absolute easiest way to release a planter. Most people don't understand when you're making cement planters, it's all about getting the mold out from the planter without breaking the planter, without damaging the planter. That's the hardest part about making cement planters or concrete planters, is getting the centerpiece out. And this material, I'm 90% sure it's old tires that have been chewed up and melted to create these types of mixing containers or gardening containers. The brand is called Kanguro. Kanguro. It's patented and it's made in Australia. I'm quite sure it's made in Australia. So they sell these in Ecuador on all the corners. It's quite popular here. So there's two ways to handle this circle, the circumference. And that one is you take your cement and you work your way like this around it. You would have to be very gentle because you're not pushing it in. So the other way is to fill this up with sand, flip it over, and the sand would push out to the edges, and then you clean it up. So I'm going to show you the most complicated method, and we're going to flip it over. Okay, Rodrigo, palo, me llenas eso con 6 palos de arena, esa arena ahí. And that's going to push the edges out when we flip it over. We've got to clean up the table so we don't get any of this in the cement. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to level it out. And you can feel the tension here. Okay, we're going to clean this up. See, I can't push it in because the sand is pushing against it. And that'll make it incredibly easy to release. I do this just to line it up nicely. Okay, escoba, Rodrigo. I think there's many different types of flexible containers. And if you encounter a flexible container, make sure it's on the inside. Don't fill this up from this inside. Use this part on the outside here. And what happens is you can release it a lot easier. We filled these up with cement on the inside, and we had, I'll tell you, one problem getting them out. It was absolutely terrible. Okay, I'm happy with that. Aceite, oil. So what I do always is I check the circumference if it looks good. This looks really good. Okay, regular cooking oil. We use this as our release agent. And this planter has a really distinct texture, which is going to make it stick to the rubber. So we're going to oil this up, move it up. And I can push here and it doesn't move. So that's what the sand is doing. It's really helping me out. And don't be shy with the oil. It doesn't do anything to the planter. It enables you to release this very easily. I can actually feel the shape is perfect. So make sure you really pay attention that this doesn't move on you or it doesn't have a bad angle on it, like one of these is pushed in or something. And if you get it everywhere, it's going to be very easy to release this. Okay, we're going to start mixing up the cement. Get this all ready for the finished touch of turning this into a cement planter or concrete planter, however you want to describe it. I want to go through the difference between a concrete planter and a cement planter. We've made many fabric planters and we only use cement in those. We don't have any aggregate or gravel. So that's a cement planter. This one here, we're going to put a coat of bonding agent on this. And then we're going to make a cement mix, which is a fine granular sand mixed with cement 1 to 3 with polypropylene fibers. Okay, we're going to mix up some cement. Yeah, we're mixing up a little bit of bonding agent. This is for gluing down ceramic tiles or natural stone or whatever. It's a very, very sticky, gluey material. And every country has something similar. So all this is for is to get a skin on this. That's all we're trying to do, is we're trying to get a skin on the mold so that the cement will stick a lot easier. That's the only purpose. Yeah, so we're going to dry the excess oil off just so everything sticks nicer. This is the oil is penetrated inside this rubber. It would be like making your rubber tires shiny, no different on a car. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, now what we're going to do is apply the Bondex to this, and all we want is the skin. And again, I'm checking the circumference. All we want is the skin to stick to the planter so we can apply our cement over top of it. And there's lots of fiber in here. It's going to help with the strength. Okay, we're going to get this cemented up. We'll come back and show you when we're ready to put the cement on here, the concrete. We're going to mix up some sand and gravel. If you can ice a cake, you can do this work. It's not hard. It's not any different than getting a half-inch coat of Bondex everywhere. Quite easy to do. And when you're working from the bottom up and you touch this space here, like if you get over the edge, this will actually hold this better into place. So it's always good to move your way all the way up, and it'll help holding everything into place. Yeah, it was really important to get the excess cooking oil off, just because it makes it harder to get this bonding agent to stick. So dry off your rubber planter, rubber container as much as you can, because the cooking oil will do its job as long as it's entering the fabric of the rubber. So we're going to finish this up, and then we're going to mix up the 1 to 3 concrete mix, and we're going to get that on top of this as well, all at the same time. We're not going to wait for this to dry out. We're going to get the cement on there all at once. Yeah, we like to glue in our drainage pipe, our drainage hole for the planter, so we don't have to drill anything. Makes it a lot easier. So this has to remind anyone of icing a cake. There's no difference to it. Just if you're confident in icing a cake, then making these concrete / cement planters is not a problem at all. And the secret is to get the stuff to stay up, the bonding agent to stand up, and the cement to stand up as well. That's the big secret to this work. If you can accomplish that, everything else is a lot easier. Also remember, you have to get the exact same thickness everywhere. If you can do that, you can actually make these planters a lot stronger, because you're actually having, let's say, 1 inch everywhere compared to having half an inch somewhere and 1.25 inches somewhere else. So just pay attention to the thickness. Make sure you get everything nice and perfectly the same thickness, and you'll be able to make these planters no problem. Okay, now we're moving on to part 2. We're going to mix up some sand, stony mix with cement, and the mix is 1 to 3. Yeah, we have a bit of water on the bottom. We have 3 sand. People always ask me, how much water do you use? It really depends on how dry this sand is. If this is really wet, you use a lot less water. So we kind of have this idea where we put 1 liter of water inside the container. Then we add the 3 sand and 1 cement. And then we add water as needed. And the polypropylene fibers, they go in at the very end. That's our mix recipe for this. Okay. It's a bit too dry. So it's good to do this with two people. You can see when you're close to where you want to be. There it is. It's actually a little bit too wet for me. So I'm going to add half a shovel of cement again. It's important to break up this polypropylene so it doesn't wrap around the blade and it doesn't have these great big chunks of polypropylene stuck together. We push it in a little bit, then we work it in so it doesn't wrap around the blade. Work in a bit more. And this polypropylene is like an accordion. It unfolds. That's why you want to put it at the end. You don't want to put this in the beginning because you destroy the accordion effect of this material. So it's always good to mix it the least amount of time, but you still want it distributed throughout your mix really well. Okay, that's it. Yeah, since we have the Bondex on here, this material sticks incredibly well. The 1-to-3 mix. I'm actually not happy with this. This is a little bit too wet. So we're going to add another shovelful of cement to this. Okay, Rodrigo, otra cuchara de cemento. Está muy mojado. What's really nice about these two materials is the fact that this is light gray. The Bondex is light gray, the bonding agent, and the cement is a much darker gray. So you actually know exactly where you're working, and makes it a lot easier when you apply the second coat or even the third coat. Okay, this is a lot better. Sometimes you have to really play with the mix to get the right water content, the right consistency of the cement. I think I'm going to make this look like limestone. I'm going to make it look really old. So we're not going to really smooth this out too much. And again, it's important to sort of keep your thickness in order so that you don't have areas that are way thicker than others. It's a lot easier to deal with a drier mix than a wetter mix because all you have to do is add water if you're too dry. And if you have a sloppy, really wet mix, it's hard because you have to simply keep adding drier and drier materials to it. It's easier to add water than it is to take it away. That's what I'm trying to say. If you wanted this to be super smooth, you would have a little container of water. You would dip your trowel in and then you would just come back and smooth it out. That works really well. Okay, we're going to finish this up. Layer 1. We're going to do one more layer after that. And it's completely overcast and raining as usual when we make planters. So this isn't going to dry out anytime soon. If you're doing this in real heat, make sure you have 1 or 2 more people to help you because you'll probably have to go incredibly fast to get this on. It's important to work these two materials together, like work them into each other so that you get a good bond between the two of them. It's not hard to do. The Bondex is very sticky to start with. What we're trying to do here is to get the cement onto the bonding agent, and then we can smooth it out or decorate it, whatever we want to do. But we got to get this first layer on everywhere. Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of a different finish. Every planter I want to do something different. So we're basically going to glue on these meatballs. And we're not going in here so much. We want this to look super, super rough, as if it's a piece of stone. And what it does is it has all these little areas where you could actually put topsoil in to make the planter turn mossy. And then we come back and knock it down with a trowel. And what that does is it makes these these openings a lot more pronounced. And this goes really fast. It's like an old limestone trough, like a really rough looking material. Okay, now before we go and level this, we're going to throw this full of a concrete hardener that we're going to throw on here. And that'll allow us to keep this texture intact because it'll make it very dry and we can deal with it. I look for little oddities, little holes that are missing cement, come back, fill them up. I always like to come back and make this edge very attractive at the bottom. I'm going to dry this up a bit. And with these holes that are everywhere, this material will actually go inside it. And it's drying up incredibly fast. I even do the top because this is incredibly strong material. It's used here in Ecuador for stairs. So you can imagine how strong this stuff is. In America, Canada, other places, this closest material you would have to this is something called a color hardener. It makes the finished very hard. And just by throwing this on, this is completely changed. It's completely dry. It's drying out so fast. And it has all kinds of little pebbles in it, which are decorative. And it's important to get it, again, equally onto the wall surfaces. Like look for these little holes, pick different angles to get it in there. And now I can come back and push it into place a little bit better because it's a lot drier. It's funny how this material dries this up so much. The idea is to make this look so old. When we're going to demold this, we could paint it like with brown stains. We could actually fill this all up with topsoil. There's so many options of decorating something this rough. It makes it a lot easier to make and to decorate at the same time. Like I can't even change the surface anymore. It's so hard. It's important to do a visual inspection, walk around, see what it looks like. Okay, last thing I want to do, make a nice edge. I'm not happy here. Not as grainy as I'd like. I'm going to put some more grain in here, more veining. Okay, so the only thing we have left to do is tarp it, and tomorrow we'll take it apart. Yeah, so it's been 16 hours. Get this out. I would normally wait another day, but I want to get this video up. Okay, Dario, vamos aqui. That this gives us enough space to get a hand under. Está cayendo. Okay. ¿Vienes más cerca? Okay, so this flexible mold is inside. So I'm going to start to peel it away. There you go. You see how easy this opens up? Way better. Here we go. So we're going to clean this up a little bit. This will dry another week, and this will be super, super strong. And I'm contemplating rubbing this full of topsoil just so it grows nice and mossy. We're going to plant this up, and then we'll show you how it's finished.